I got a big mouth. And now I talk from my heart. I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes. But my controversy probably. And it's not my fault. I'm trying to find my way in the world. You know, I'm trying to be somebody instead of just make money off everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so I go down past that, having been traveled before, and I usually mess up. But I learn, you know what I'm saying? I come back stronger. You know, I'm not talking ignorant, you know what I'm saying? So I obviously put thought into what I do. Your karma, everything that you do bad comes back to you. So anything that I'm doing that's bad, I'm going to have to suffer for it. But in my heart, I think what I'm doing is right. You know what I mean? And I think heaven is just, when you sleep with a good conscience. You don't have nightmares. And hell is...
What's going on, everyone? I'm so happy you decided to join me on this journey called Podcast Life. We will be discussing topics like celebrity gossip, life lesson, politics, and etc. This is a judge-free zone. Think of me as that homegirl that is so down to earth that you feel like you've been knowing for years. Remember, over here at the Boomerang Effect, the motto is never judge a book by its cover before opening it up and reading it. And remember, it's okay to agree to disagree. Just stand on what you're saying. Got it? Period. Please like, comment, share, give feedback, anything to help this podcast grow, because it is a voice for the people. So, love, peace, and unity. Mwah. What's going on, you guys? It is your girl, Queen Quee, and this is Hot Topics. Let's jump right on into it. Alexandra Burks of The X Factor was told she looked too aggressive because of her baby hairs. Okay, Miss Burke has opened up about some of the negative comments that followed her on her time on The X Factor. During her interview, the singer addressed the blunt disrespect on colorism she experienced, such as being asked to bleach her skin, while she said she was told about the anti-blackness within the music industry various times. Alexandra Burke states, "It's only really hit me when I got asked to bleach my skin at the X Factor by a certain person on the creative side who was working with me." Miss Burke first made this video back in 2020. In her Instagram video, she alleged, "I got told to bleach my skin, and that was something I refused to do because it's just absurd to me that somebody could even ask me to do that." Okay, so basically this young lady was on the X Factor, and she did a video last year stating that they wanted her to bleach her skin because they felt like she was too dark, and they felt like that the baby hairs that was on her head was a sign of an aggressive person. Now, I want to know, like, first of all, this is crazy because do I believe her? Is it something to believe? Yes, it is something to believe. I hate when people underestimate what goes on behind closed doors in the music industry. And when you go on some of these TV shows, especially, I want to say American Idol, I will never forget, I think it was Kelly Clarkson and a lot of more other people, Fantasia, and a lot of more other people that said that even with American Idol, the rules and stuff like that was so strict. Like, they had strict rules because they put you on a pedestal. So therefore, it was so much stuff that disqualified a lot of people that they could not do. And they were just saying like how basically once if they did win the whole TV show or whatever, how much stress and stuff like that. It was kind of like it was an out of body experience. Like, you really did not get to enjoy yourself because they changed your hair color, they changed your looks, you know, they changed the way you act, the way you speak. And it's kind of like if you don't go with these procedures, then you're out the game, off the rip. And a lot of these artists lose themselves. So the reason why I wanted to bring this into a perspective is because I really do want to let people know, like, when you're getting into something, please stand for something, or you will fall for anything. I understand some people, and that's starting to make me think, even when I used to look at Top Model and different type of stuff like that, and then a lot of the a lot of people will turn down certain type of positions or roles and stuff like that because it's kind of like, yeah, I can do this for the money and, you know what I'm saying, get away with it. But then at the end of the day, I already know once I do this, then I could be put into a certain type of stereotype in box. So don't get me wrong. I don't want people to underestimate the fact of, okay, yeah, this is a big opportunity. This opportunity might not come again, but what is for you is what is for you. So please don't think that, you know, your blessing is gonna come in the form of embarrassment, like to the point where it comes in form of you disrespecting yourself, you lowering yourself, humiliation and stuff like that. So be mindful when a person sit up here and tell you that, hey, you look too aggressive or you need to change the way you talk and act and stuff like that. If it's not for the better, now don't get me wrong, because there's some people out there that really do need to change that perspective in their mind to better themselves. But please make sure that whatever it is, it makes sense. I can see someone saying like, hey, maybe you need to go back to school and take a class on this and that before you get into that, versus somebody sitting up here telling you like, do this and do that, and they don't have no experience or it doesn't make sense. So yeah, definitely look into anything when it comes down to your goals or your, you know, if it's a life decision or whatever. Because my dad used to tell me all the time, something that you done in your early 20s or when you are a teenager can affect you for the rest of your life or later on down the line. It's some people out there that still is not recovering for some stuff that they was told or they did to please others back when they was younger. So I'm glad this young lady took a stand and did not do that, and, you know, kind of just stick with her grounds and be like, well, hey, you know, if y'all feel like that baby hairs and me lighting my skin complexion will do me justice, I'm not for it. So yeah, just stand for something or you will fall for anything. Okay, so Nick Cannon asks why people question him about having multiple baby mamas. And I think I talked about this on another podcast before about Nick Cannon having so many kids with different women. And the thing was is that now it was kind of like, well, is it okay because Nick Cannon has a lot of a lot of money, or is it not okay because now it's always going to be a couple of his kids that is left fatherless? So let's see what he was saying.
I got I'm one on the way. If I'm gonna have to sit, but I'm stopping it.
Really?
I'm
Are you sure? Is it the beauty of fatherhood, man? When you really talk about like the essence of living in as a father too, man. I've learned so much just from my children, man. Like, and it's so amazing. And I really just love being around my kids and just that youthful energy. It feels like you get to relive every time.
All the time. I love that.
And I think because, you know, I've been through so much in my life, you know, physically, mentally, and spiritually, like the best place that I find is the time that I spend with my kids and the energy, and to get as much of that as possible, to pass on, you know, all that I've lived into something else. That's why I do it, man.
It's not the number of kids, though. I guess people question the different baby mothers. That's what.
Why do people question that? I mean, because that's a Eurocentric concept when you think about the ideas of like you're supposed to have this one person for the rest of your life, and really that's just a classified property when you think about it. I mean, like when you go into that mindset, if we really talking that talk, like just the idea that a man should have one woman, we shouldn't have anything. I have no ownership over this person. Like if we're really talking about how we coexist and how we populate, it's about what exchange can we create together. So I've never really subscribed to that mentality. You know, I mean, I understand the institution of marriage and stuff, but if we go back to what that was about, that was the classified property. That was because a father gave another man his daughter for land. So when you really get to that concept, it's like, all right, well, we got to change all of this stuff because I don't want ownership over anybody. I don't have ownership of any of the mothers or like we create families in that sense of we created a beautiful entity. So I get into it because I don't, you know, those are the concepts that a lot of people, because we're so indoctrinated into it, like we have to have it this way. I'm not, you know, I don't subscribe to that. I actually think women are blessing us. Those women, those.
Okay, so that's just some of it. And, you know, he's trying to basically say, like, hey, you know, who says that you just have to have one kid and one baby mama and do this and that? Let me tell you something. I still think it's very disgusting. I don't care because the debate was, is it okay? Like, well, does it really matter if long as the man has enough money to financially support all these kids, he can have how many kids that he wants to? I mean, you know, that's not, a lot of people was trying to put that in debate. Like, well, hey, he has enough money, he can support these kids. So it's not like that he's out here not supporting them financially. But what people fail to realize is that once again, you're bringing a kid into this world and you're giving them a disadvantage when you won't even allow yourself to sit up here and make a family. I don't care what, like somebody had might come in and make, I don't care how good of a person Nick Cannon is. He cannot be a full-time father for 9 kids in different households with different women. You have different attitudes, different personality. Someone and a couple of your kids and the mother of your kids is going to be left behind. I'm not going to even put it all on Nick Cannon. It's just the simple fact is, as a woman, you should really analyze that situation before you lay down with a man. Like if he already got 6 or 7 kids and you turn around and you like, well, hey, let me add on to that. You already know you're making a sacrifice of being a single mother. And I just think that that's wrong, because then the only time that you might explode or feel some type of way is when you're fed up and tired. But oh, don't forget, he got money. But what do that mean? Because a person, materialistic stuff, a person can lose at the drop of a dime. If you listen to a lot of these kids, or even probably yourself and a couple of your friends, it's a lot of times that it wasn't even about the money when it came down to their parents and them and being stable and financially stable. They had everything they want, but at the end of the day, they could not get something that was priceless, which is love, which is peace, which is like, you know, you seeing your parent come up to the school and spend time with you on your special events and stuff like that, instead of always saying, oh, I'm at work, I got to do this and do that, or, you know, they cannot come because they stay out of town, or it's like they're not going to make a way. And they feeling like, well, hey, you know, I'm gonna give you a couple of $100, or I'm gonna give you something that you want, so that should make up with it. And I'm telling you that at the end of the day, I just do not care about Nick Cannon having money and stuff like that. I'm looking at the fact of, you have at least a couple of baby mamas, and these kids, one of your kids is gonna lack. Maybe not even one, but a couple of your kids in the process might lack. And they will grow up with animosity and envy, especially if they sit up here and see that you went to one event and did not. You don't think that way. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I do feel like it's selfish for you to keep on creating kids with different, you know, mothers and stuff like that, because you feel like at the end of the day, you are a millionaire and it's okay because I can take care of my kids, and me and their mother agreed to this and this and that. I feel like it's selfish on both ends, especially when you sit up here dealing with an illness or sickness. You know, you're dealing with sickle cell and lupus and stuff like that, and then you have the audacity to keep, you know, making kids knowing that you are already dealing with health issues that you might not even be here in the long run. So, hey, what are you guys' opinion on that? Do you agree with Nick Cannon about having multiple, you know, baby mamas and baby dads? Because it's funny how people want to debate about that, but let this would have been a woman. It would have been, she's a trick, she's a hoe, she's a slut, got a different nigga every day of the week. Oh, but you still won't pay me no attention, listening to it. No, just saying, I'm just saying. But yeah. So next subject, going into the different, you know, that subject, let's get into Dr. Dre 38-year-old daughter is homeless and living out of her car. I asked him for help and I haven't got a response back from his lawyer. She said, I have friends and family that would let us come back and forth, but the majority of the time I'm living out of my car. LaTanya, which is his daughter, also says she has not seen her father in 18 years and have repeatedly asked him for financial help. She does admit that Dr. Dre has helped her in the past by paying her rent, giving her an allowance, but that ended in January 2020. The 55-year-old rapper fathered LaTanya with his ex, Lisa Johnson. They split when LaTanya was 5 years old. I'm sorry, 5 years old. LaTanya is a single mother of 4, she says. My kids are staying with friends. They are not living in the car. It's just me. I'm taking odd jobs to make it now. I got paid $15 an hour as an assembly worker. I'm trying to keep my head above water. I've been in debt for a while. LaTanya said she now fears she will lose her rental car as she has been able to, if she's not able to make payments. And then she goes on to let it be known that she still got rent and stuff like that. So the debate was, is Dr. Dre wrong for not supporting his daughter, and his daughter living in the car and knowing that his grandkids, that she has 4 kids, which is his grandkids, and they're all is living to post. Now the debate was, is that wrong? Is he wrong or is he not? Now when you look at this, she did admit that he did give her allowance and stuff like that. Me personally, and just in my opinion, first of all, just because a parent is a celebrity doesn't make it right for people to feel like no matter what, your parents should always be there and support you and stuff like that. Now, I'm a mother of 3, so I'm not even going to prejudge, because a lot of people say you don't know how you will be until you're put in that position. And I do believe that is correct. Like, I can't sit up here and tell you like, hey, if my kids fall on hard time, no matter what, I'm gonna always be there, or I'm not gonna be there. I'll be lying to sit up here and tell you what I do. I personally feel like it probably be more to the story. I don't know if in the time period of your dad paying your rent, paying, your car note, making sure you had an allowance. Allowance is you giving a grown person money to basically 9 times out of 10 do nothing. So especially, it ain't no such thing as an allowance when you reach an adult, especially when you start having kids. So I can see it on both ends, really on more so of a Dr. Dre. And don't get me wrong, I'm a mother of 3. But at the end of the day, I don't look for my mother or, my dad to support me and my kids. Once I start popping them kids out, it's my responsibility, and the person who helped me do, live the responsibility, like to basically put me in that responsibility. I don't never ask my mom and stuff like that for help unless I really need it. And that's very rare, because I feel like at the end of the day, their job was to raise me. I'm raised, especially when I started giving life into other, the other little creatures. So I don't think Dr. Dre is wrong. I would love to hear you guys' opinion on that. I personally don't feel like he's wrong for not sitting up here supporting his daughter. We're only hearing one side. We don't know what triggered him to not want to support her at all. Because you got to understand, Dr. Dre is worth billions of dollars. So for your dad to really step away and not to even want to allow himself to even give you at least $1,000 a month, knowing you have kids or something could have triggered that. So I would like to hear both sides before I make a judgment on that, because if he's just not doing it because he just fed up and she irritated him, yeah, that's wrong. Because at the end of the day, you got to understand, especially if she's trying and she just can't catch up and stuff like that. But who's to say? We don't know if she probably had a drug issue. Dr. Dre could be feeling like, hey, I tried to warn her, or he's probably being, because a lot of times, especially by her having 4 kids, we don't know if the father of the kids, like, you're gonna beg your dad for money and sit up here and make a spectacle of him and make it seem like, well, I'm Dr. Dre's daughter and he don't want to give me money, but you ain't not one of the baby daddies. This is what kills me about society too. These women will sit up here and get on every government assistance in the world, but then you're too prideful to sit up here and ask your baby daddy for $2. I don't gotta ask the man for nothing. I don't need this. I can raise my kids on their own. But then you expect your family, your mom, your dad, people that's in your grandmother, your grandpa, your sister, your cousin to help you raise this child. But then, you want to sit up here and portray that the baby daddy is a deadbeat and you won't ask him for nothing? Make it make sense. So what do you guys thought about that? Do you feel like no matter what, he's worth billions, he should always be there for his daughter no matter what and support her? Or do you feel like it comes to times where you do have to cut the cord when it comes down to your kids or family members that is consistently using you for money and then they're not doing nothing to it? Because that does make me think, if your dad paid your rent, if he sit up here and paid your car note, if he sit up here and also gave you an allowance, what did you do with the money? What did you do with all of that? And he probably stopped doing that because, not trying to be funny, you got 4 kids. Where is the father of the child? So at the end of the day, you're living off of me and you're not even trying to do nothing to better yourself, even though I'm helping you and I don't have to. So yeah, make it make sense on that. So let me know what you guys think about that. Okay, women married men convicted of murder of her half brother. God put us together. This is what she says. Let's get into it.
Yesterday, Crystal Strauss became Crystal Teigen, marrying John Teigen at his Cleveland home, marrying a man who was originally convicted in Cuyahoga County Court of killing her brother, Brian McGarry, back in 1987.
I love him. Obviously, if I didn't love him, I would not be sitting here with him.
After 32 years behind bars, in June, Cuyahoga County Judge Dick Ambrose threw out Teigen's murder conviction and granted him a new trial, after Teigen's defense attorney submitted dozens of crime photos and police reports that weren't seen in the original trial. That's when Crystal wrote a letter to Teigen, who was still behind bars, offering her forgiveness and belief that he didn't kill her brother.
And I wrote her a letter back and I said, you know what, I didn't do it. Take a look at this stuff.
Teigen is still on house arrest as he awaits a new trial, hoping the court will allow him to get surgery he says he needs to save the sight in his left eye.
From a legislative perspective, we need to do something with the parole board.
Teigen's attorney, Kimberly Kendall Corral, says Ohio judicial reform is needed to speed up how quickly hearings are granted for those who are fighting to prove their innocence.
We need to give defendants a full and fair opportunity to present evidence that wasn't available at the time of trial, whatever the reason was.
Ohio Innocence Project Program Director Pierce Reed is hoping the state will adopt new rules of criminal procedure that would give a specific path in assisting with motions for a new trial.
It would give a track that would really help, hopefully, people with these innocence claims having a better opportunity to be heard.
Meanwhile, John and Crystal realize the path for John's permanent freedom won't be easy.
We'll get through this. It's going to be challenging. There's no doubt about it.
Baby. So, of course, they're Caucasian. No disrespect, but yeah, it would have been a little bit more drama if they was, Mocha Choker. You know what I'm saying? It would have been a little bit more theatrics if they was Mocha Choker. But, so what do you guys think about that? Would you marry a person that was convicted of murdering a family member? I mean, it's funny because I was looking at, well, it ain't funny at all. My bad. None of this is funny. But I was looking at the comments and stuff like that, and a lot of people was like speculating, like, hey, maybe she's doing it because she's going to get her lick back, like far as like she's going to get revenge on him. She going to set him up, get him killed, and get the insurance money. Or they were saying like maybe they was in on it together. But that's just very weird for her to want to pursue a relationship with somebody that I'm just sorry, like it's just weird to set a relationship because my it's something up with the story. Let's just keep it real. It's no way, I hate to be like this, but it's no way you're telling me that you are so-called madly in love just with a man that even was accused of murdering your brother, your half brother, or whatever. I don't play about mine. You best to believe, I do not play about mine. You trust and believe me, if y'all ever was to know, like I'm real close to my brother. I only got one brother and we're real close together. So at the end of the day, you best to believe it's straight revenge. If I was to do something like that, it's straight revenge. The setup is gonna be real in real life, Holyfield. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that, hey, if he is innocent, then you don't see a problem in it? Or do you feel like that no matter what, it's off limit? Even if they was accused, whether they're innocent or not, you was even accused of being, the person that murdered my loved one. So I can't get jiggy with that at all. Okay, and the last topic for today, Greg from Atlanta housewife Nene Leakes' husband, Greg Leakes. I want to say his name was Leakes. I'm sorry if I did get that wrong. He had passed away. And anybody that knows, he's been dealing with cancer and stuff like that. And this is a very sad time. I really do. I see that he had got a lot of love. He was a very, I don't know. I hate speaking on celebrities like we really know them. We only know them from TV shows and stuff like that. But this is a clip that I seen and I said to myself, like, oh, I love, like this was a good clip of him saying some things or whatever at one of the reunion. This is what he said.
Nothing to do with that. I'm a man's man. I work on swag. I don't work on women's business. Now, I didn't like it. Obviously, he's speaking to my wife, but these are words. My wife's a very strong woman. You pitch the ball, she's gonna knock it out of the park. She ain't gonna do a double or a single or a triple. She gonna hit a home run every time. All right. If she need me, she know who I am. Look over her right shoulder. I'm right there. I'm never far away. I don't have anything to do with it.
Okay, and that was just a little snippet of how Craig was and how he presented himself. And not just, to be honest with you, a lot of people that honestly personally knew him, they said the same thing too. They just said that even the people that was into it with Nene Leakes, they was just saying like one thing about him, he was a very strong, humble man, that he never mistreated people, you know, like he just kind of like he see it. And people like that, you can never, they leave a present, like even in the midst of confusion, they say something and people listen, whether you like the person or, you know, you disagree with this person. It was like when he said something, he spoke value. And even with that particular clip, I think Andy was saying like, how did he feel about somebody saying something to his wife? And he was letting it be known, baby, this is like, I'm a man's man. My wife know no matter what, I got her back. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You know what I'm saying? You throw something at her, she know how to handle herself. But if it's just words. But if it ever get physical, or you ever think that, you know what I'm saying, she lacking and she can't handle it, she know to look behind me, look behind her shoulder. I'm right there. And I just love that oral, that emotion or whatever, just because it's kind of like that says a lot in this day of time. It's not a lot of people that is like that, men and women, you know, like it's just people chasing clout and trying to look over. And I love the way he presented himself, even when it came down to his wife. He took her, Nene, you know, at the beginning, but once she became successful and more, you know, popular than him and stuff like that, he knew how to take her back to a back burner and also let it be known that, hey, I'm not intimidated and I love the fact of your growth and I want to see you succeed. And so prayers out to the family and stuff like that. His kids, he was able to live to see all his kids graduate. And, you know, I think his youngest child was the one he had with Nene. And he was definitely, he had already graduated, I want to say last year or the year before that. So all his kids was grown. So many blessings to Nene Leakes. Let's keep her in our prayers and the family and stuff like that. Well, that wraps up today's podcast. I hope it was something that you enjoyed. Please like, share, comment, give me your feedback. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so very much. Mwah.